But let's just talk about this in a creative writing sense. We want verbs that are strong, not grammatically strong, strong as in that they do the work, because your verb is the muscle of your sentence, and you want your sentences to be ripped. You want your sentences to be jacked. The fire went up the walls. What's a verb? Let's just shout out some verbs that could go in there instead of went. Raced up the walls. Climbed up the walls. Lashed up the walls. Tore up the walls. Surged, bloomed, blossomed, licked. So many great verbs. Why would you use went? You just wouldn't. You just wouldn't. I got the hose. I lunged for the hose. I grasped the hose. Embraced the hose. Clutched the hose. Grabbed the hose. Seized the hose. And put it on. Put. Better verb? Turned it on. Gave it all I had. Twisted it on. Wrenched it on. What was that? Cranked it on. Nice. Okay, so we have two sentences. The fire went up the walls, I got the hose and put it on. Or the fire raced up the walls, I lunged for the hose and cranked it on. Which one's better? Yes, right? So one of the things I like to do is look at sentences when they're feeling a bit bleh and finding the verbs and just taking them out and putting good ones in. You can't always do it, unfortunately. But it's worth trying every now and again. It's worth trying every now and again. The next one is images or imagery, metaphors, similes, figurative language, whatever you want to call it. The business world, the corporate world, is full of these, but often they're quite cliched, right? So if I said to you that you're probably using imagery every day in sentences like, it was low-hanging fruit, the window of opportunity is closing, we're all about generating traffic, these are all images. These are all examples of imagery, metaphorical language or figurative language. And we can do something with cliches. If you're reaching for something and reaching for an image and the first thing that comes into your hand is a cliche, there's nothing wrong, sort of like morally wrong with cliches. They were originally really great ideas. That's why everyone wanted to use them. And just like a stone that's been handled by lots of people, they've just worn smooth, so they've lost their texture. So one of the things you can do is you can find out what it is you did want to say there and say it in a more textured way. And this could be as simple as, let's think of a cliched image. We had glowing reviews after the first performance. Glowing reviews. Okay? Reviews don't glow. Right? They can't. They can't emit light. But if you wanted to take that and turn it into a new image using the same idea, you could say something like, when the first reviews came out, we all had to put our sunglasses on to read them. Right? So you can do that with a cliche of a sort of a metaphor. You can turn it around. Or you can just find something specific, and we'll come back to that, to put in its place. So you should embrace using images, metaphorical language, but when you feel like it might be a cliche, think about a way that you can turn it around and make it interesting again. Because you want to use metaphors to bring your writing to life, burning images and ideas into your audience's mind. So that sentence was full of metaphors. And you don't sort of notice them. So you don't have to write a epic metaphor where the sea is like a snapping beast at the ship's heels or whatever. We use them all the time. And they're a really great shortcut to engage people's imagination. They go, I know how that feels. I know what that feels like. They're kind of like a shared language that we all get.